everyone. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a software engineer based between New York and Austin at times. So I'm going to walk you through a data module that I built. I'm going to walk you through the problem I was solving. I'm going to walk you through why that was a problem, walk you through how I built the solution, and I guess some issues that I faced along the way and how I resolved those issues. So the problem was I have a project that I've been building for a while, and sometimes I find that when I run my tests locally, they pass, but when I push to production, my tests fail. So this could be happening for multiple reasons. It could be the environments using different versions of Node.js, for example, different system libraries compared to local development environment. So that could lead to differences in how the code executes, especially if it relies on behavior specific to a version of Node.js, for example. One example could be I could be running a Node.js version that supports top level await out of the box, but my production environment might be running an older version that doesn't support this feature, causing my test to fail because of a syntax error or unexpected behavior. So that's the why part. Moving on to the actual solution that I built. Oh, sorry, this slide. So it's basically the Dagger module that runs my test pipelines pretty much anyway. So because Dagger executes pipelines entirely as standard OCI containers, by running pipelines in containers, regardless of where I run my tests, they're operating within the same environment, set by the container that is. Additionally, I get the benefit of having a faster feedback loop. So, for example, what I would do before was that I would have to push my codes to my repo in order to trigger my CI to run my test pipeline. Now I can run my tests without actually having to push my changes. So it's a faster feedback loop, essentially. It helps me correct my errors a lot quicker. That's the benefit. So I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took I guess prior to actually building this module out and their relevance, the relevance of that particular step. So I defined a multi-stage build process in my Docker file, defining 3 stages: a base stage where I set up a Node.js environment, a build stage where I build all dependencies, copy all application code, and run my build scripts, and a final stage where I ensure only the necessary runtime environment is installed to minimize the size of my final application. Image size, sorry. So relevant to this presentation, in my build stage, I pruned my dev dependencies to reduce the size of my image. Typically, this will contain dependencies that I only need during development. I don't need this to be able to run my application in production. The problem is that my test framework and its dependencies were installed as dev dependencies, meaning if I run this image in Dagger, the image will not contain the libraries necessary to run my test framework, Jest. So I opted to use a script in my package.json that uses npx to trigger Jest as opposed to npm. So npx is a package runner that just executes any package. So I want npx to remotely fetch Jest in the event that it doesn't find this package in the dependencies in my image. That's the rationale behind that. Going to the next slide. This is just walking through what the actual Dagger module does or looks like. So I create a container. I pull an image from my Docker Hub registry. I initialize the container from my image. I use the with my directory method to mount a local directory into the container. By mounting the directory inside the container, making sure that all the files in my local application are available, so whatever code changes I make will be tested, essentially. So that's okay, and then I run the actual test script and return output from that script. So it's a long and short of what the module actually does. So one issue that I encountered, so the top picture is what I expect to see. So when I run Jest locally, I expect Jest to look for and execute all my unit tests that I've written for the application and output all the results, including passes, failures to the std out stream on my console. However, what I actually got was like I guess the 2 lines that you see at the bottom, the image at the bottom, essentially. So I didn't get the actual test results. So I had to figure out what that was occurring. I realized that the std out method from the Dagger pipeline outputs the stream of the last executed command. The problem is Jest starts up. This is logged to my console. The test results are only logged after Jest finds all the tests, executes the tests, compiles the result, and compiles the results into a report. So maybe there could be a timing issue, where although the std out method in Dagger's SDK is asynchronous, it's capturing the initial logs I get from Jest starting up, but not waiting for the full output logged after Jest executes all the tests. So moving to the next slide. One solution that I found that worked in my situation was shell redirection. So by using special notations, you can redirect the output of many commands to files, even to the input of other commands, essentially. So by default, std out and stder are displayed in the terminal in separate streams. So it's not that the output from Jest was in. So I guess to explain what I actually did, I'm redirecting stder to std out. So it's not that the output from Jest was in stdr per se. Nothing was in that stream in my scenario. What I believe is happening is that the mere act of redirecting stder to std out might be altering the timing in which output data is flushed and captured. So I had to dig in deeper to like the Node.js documentation to understand what's going on. And I realized that std out is by default a writable stream. So meaning that what's happening in my scenario just is writing into std out, and then it's writing into that stream in Node.js, and it's flushing out the output on my end to my terminal, from my understanding. So some buffering is being carried out. So I believe what it's like. I think it's line buffering, where the output is flushed whenever a new line character is encountered, or the buffer, or whenever a new line is encountered, essentially. But this behavior can be influenced by the environment. So, for example, if you redirect to a file or a pipe, or you pipe to a file, I think it carries out block buffering, if I'm not mistaken. So, moving to the next slide. That's what I said just now. So what I think is happening, or my theory with why the solution that I had works, is that if there's no error, Jest will write the test output to std out. And then by piping, I am changing that I'm changing the buffering from line buffering to block buffering. And then I'm returning the entire block, the entire flush block from Jest essentially in one go, from my understanding at least. So the solution, or the output of the solution actually working, with my test results returning at the end of the module running. So that's the long and short of what I built, what I encountered, and how I resolved it. I have a more detailed blog detailing out the process in a more verbose way, if that makes sense. But that's it from my side.